this is really happening. This is really happening. Hi ladies, it's time for an update for me. A lot has actually happened since I posted the last video. It's time, basically. So where we left off was that I had just had the saline sonogram and realized that I wasn't Superwoman and that I needed my support system here with me. So after I had the saline sonogram, you guys might remember that I had forgotten to ask any sorts of questions about what the next steps were or what I should be expecting, and the doctor told me that the nurse would be contacting me. So she did contact me, and basically what she said is, well, I have your calendar ready for you. I'll just email that to you, and then you can, we really need your husband to do another semen analysis and to get his blood work done as soon as possible, because if he didn't get it done in time, then it would affect the calendar. I would have to stay on birth control for longer, and we'd have to put it off for a few more days. So Brian ran right out and got his blood work drawn, but then for the semen analysis, most of you ladies probably know that you have to be abstinent for 3 days before you do the semen analysis, and so Brian had to wait until Monday to do that. And the nurse suggested that I not, because I was supposed to order the meds like as soon as possible. So with the July 4th holiday coming up, they were worried about shipping. Even though the meds are shipped out overnight, they're still concerned that, you know, something could get lost or whatever. So she wanted me to order the meds as soon as possible. But she suggested that I do not order the meds until we get the semen analysis back and the results, to make sure that there are actually still live sperm present. There was no reason that there shouldn't be any, but we were just erring on the side of caution, or the nurse was erring on the side of caution, to make sure that there was still some present, because obviously that would put everything to what she called a grinding halt. So the Kaiser's really good about posting your test results really quickly, so we knew that night what the results were. I don't have them written down, or I would tell you guys what they were, but they weren't good. There's only about 40% motility at all, and then there's something wrong with 2 other things that make it so they're not very mobile, and they can't really get anywhere because of the consistency or something like that. But they're alive, so you know. So we got those results last night, and so today I called the pharmacy, but I'm actually skipping around because I remember also telling you guys that our financial assistant person put us in touch with the 2 companies where we could get the discounted meds, and one of them I didn't hear back from, but the other one actually contacted me this weekend and told me that we were qualified for 25% off certain medications. So that was a huge relief. Now it was off only certain medications, it wasn't off all of them, so that was still great though. But I had to order through a different pharmacy. They were going to have me order my meds through Walgreens, but I guess now it's going through a different pharmacy. And so I called today to order our meds, and so you pay over the credit card, over the phone with your credit card, and then they ship the meds out to you the very next day. So they will be delivered tomorrow, which is crazy. But they don't ship all of your meds. I guess there's one medication that she said that I paid for today, but that it has to be used within 2 weeks of them mixing it up, or she called it compounding it. 2 weeks, and it's the Lupron. It's your trigger shot that you take to make you ovulate. So they can't mix that up and have it just sitting in your fridge like the rest of them. The pharmacy told me that my doctor would tell me when I should call them back and let them know that I'm ready for them to ship out the Lupron shots, and then they will overnight them to me again. So, but they are paid for. So the people at the pharmacy were really nice, and that discount really helped. I know that the meds can be really, really expensive for some people. And so they were still expensive for us. No joke. But, make no mistake, they were still expensive for us, but that discount really did help. It actually ended up taking off, I think, somewhere around $600. So when you're paying thousands of dollars for meds, that $600 is a real big blessing. So I'm glad that even though I didn't think that we would qualify, that I did at least try. So note to you ladies that even if you don't think you would qualify, you should probably still try if in your area they have those types of programs. So the full price of the IVF with the ICSI in addition, because that's an additional cost on top of the base IVF cost. So we have to pay that the day of our injection training. And that's also when we have to turn in the stack of like this big consent forms for everything underneath the sun. So that all happens that day in office right before your injection training. So let me show you guys, cover up my information. It's my calendar. So, freaked out, cause my calendar, I got my calendar and I didn't even think it was right. So I immediately called my nurse back and was like, here it says call on the first day of your menstrual period. And I was like, well, my natural cycle, I wouldn't actually get my period for another like 2 weeks after they're saying that I should get my period. And then my mom informed me that the moment I stop taking the birth control, that's going to induce a period. And so I called the nurse just to make sure that this was in fact my calendar and this would induce me to have my period basically 2 weeks early. And then, of course, she agreed with my mom and was like, duh, that's why we give you the birth control, is because it gets rid of your cycle and kind of, it gives you a whole new one so that you're starting when they want you to start. So basically the news is that I've ordered my meds. They're coming tomorrow, and I haven't decided yet if I'm doing an unboxing of that video. I probably will, just to show you guys, even if I just have it all laid out on the table, to show you guys all the things that I'll be taking, because the meds, they gave me a list of all the meds that I'm going to be on. It's, typical estradiol, diazepam, menopur, progesterone, Gonal-F, typical IVF drugs. So anybody who's done IVF or has tried medicated cycles for IUIs or whatever will recognize some of those names. But it basically, my calendar states that I am going to be stopping birth control in just at the end of this week. By July 3rd, and hopefully I will get a cycle within 1 or 2 days after that. And she said it probably won't even be like a real cycle, it'll be spotting, or really light flow. She said to expect that, so that's exciting. And then on Tuesday, right after the July 4th holiday, I'm going to have my first, like a baseline ultrasound and blood work done. And then the very next day is my injection training. So I can't believe it's happening. It's really happening. Like, I thought that the earliest cycle that they would be able to get me into would be August, and that I was going to be on birth control for like a month, because they gave me 2 packets of these birth control pills, so I was thinking that they would just have me use all of them, but I guess they just give you more than you probably will need. But anyway, it's starting in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. So that's kind of scary. So, not gonna lie, I teared up a little when right after I placed the order for the medication, because I'm placing an order for thousands of dollars of medication for IVF. So that was overwhelming and crazy and exciting and terrifying, and all of these different crazy emotions that my husband's trying to understand and still thinks I'm kind of crazy about having, because he's excited. But I'm thinking, what if we go through all of this and spend all this money and we still don't have a baby at the end? You know, what if I'm completely miserable when I'm on these IVF meds? What if, what if, what if? A million what ifs. I'm also trying to remain optimistic, trying to be excited. I think once the meds are here and I'm looking at them and I have to stack them in my refrigerator, I'm hoping that more excitement will kick in and the fear will kind of be shoved in the back seat. But this calendar made it real. I printed out a whole list of, I scribbled down on a pad of paper for Brian so that he can let his boss know what days he's going to be needing off. Because as you guys know, the IVF, the calendar is really loose guidelines. Anything can be extended or changed. So I gave him the possible date for egg retrieval, possible date for the embryo transfer, and a few dates that he'll need to be there, the injection training schedule. But, and the ultrasounds, all the ultrasounds at my clinic are done at like 7 and 7:30 a.m. And so I have 7:30 a.m.s for the ultrasound. It looks like there's probably about 5 of them. And the first one I'm not going to make him go to because you're supposed to call on the first day of your period, but you still have to go to this ultrasound, which is going to be super nasty. Nobody wants to be a part of that. I don't even want to be there, and I wouldn't go if I didn't have to, yeah. So I'm not making him go to that one because, ew. We don't even pee in front of each other, so that's not going to be happening. But, the rest of them, once I'm starting the stimulation meds and everything, I want him there. So he's actually going to be going to those 7:30 a.m. ultrasound appointments and then going to work afterwards to work the remainder of the day, which should be plenty of the day because the ultrasounds hopefully won't even take that long. I guess we'll see. I've never done it before. So basically where we are at now is that I have ordered the meds. They are coming tomorrow, whether I'm ready for this or not. And then Friday is my last day of both the doxycycline antibiotic that I was on and last day for birth control pills. If this calendar is how it actually ends up going, I will be having an egg retrieval on July 20th. Which is a Monday, and I could possibly be transferring an embryo the 23rd or the 20th. You know, by my birthday, which is on August 9th, I could know if I'm pregnant or not, which is insane to me. So, we'll see. We will see. Cautiously optimistic. And vaguely terrified. But, you know, par for the course, right? So I guess that's all I have for now. This is starting. It has begun. I am going to be going through IVF. It's real now. So I'm doing this. It's happening. Wish me luck, ladies. I'll be talking to you. Bye.